Hello and welcome to GrossiMath.com, where math is for everyone. Today we're going to learn to identify lead terms. This is probably one of the simplest things in the world, but it contains one ultra important piece of knowledge, so it's going to continue to build our knowledge of terms. If you haven't watched the first video in this playlist, I recommend that you go back and watch it. Identifying terms. Okay. So if you have watched our first video, you already know how to identify terms. And right here I have an expression that has two terms. Look, I put a box around the first term until I saw my minus sign, and then I have a box around my second term. Okay, well in this video we said we're going to define what is the lead term. The lead term is very simple. It's the term in the front. So whatever expression you have, the first term is called the lead term. The lead term is important for one reason. Well, sometimes it's important for other reasons, but for our purposes, it's important for just one reason. And the reason it's important is because when I look closely at this 3, I notice that, okay, let's compare this 3 with this 6. This 6 is a negative 6. Okay. What kind of 3 is this? Well, I'll bet you already know that it's a positive 3, right? Because if I just write the number 3, everyone knows that it's a positive 3. I don't need to put the little positive sign in front of it for you to know that it's a positive 3, do I? But actually, it is there. It's there in our minds. We understand that it's there. We understand that it's there. So actually, we kind of in our minds draw our own little positive sign, don't we? With negative numbers, we don't really do that. With negative numbers, we always put the negative sign, because then for sure we know they're not positive. But the plus sign is there in our minds. When we draw a 3, we know it's a positive 3. When we draw a 5, we know it's a positive 5. But if it has a negative sign, we know, oh, it's just a negative. Okay, well, we know that this 3 is positive. Well, in your mind, when you draw your own plus sign, you know it's there, but you don't write it. You know it's there, but you don't write it. There's a special name for that in math. It's called implied. It's something that we know is there, but that we do not write. And in this case, we're studying what's called the implied positive sign. The lead term, if the lead term is positive, it actually does have an implied positive sign. We know that it's a positive 3. We just don't write it because it would look super weird. Let me show you what I mean by look super weird really quickly. Let's say I do the problem 3 plus 10. Well, this is obviously a positive 3, right? But wouldn't it look weird to write it this way? It would, right? It would look super weird. And that's why we do the implied positive sign. We know that this is a positive 3. So we just kind of lop it off. We also know that this is a positive 10. But because it's not the lead term, we don't give it an implied positive sign. Only the lead term can have an implied positive sign. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. All right, so here are 2 examples, and we're going to try to find the lead term. This should be interesting. Okay, we're going to draw here. We see our plus sign, and we put a line up and go up. Now we start our new term. We go here, here, here. Now we start our next term and we go here, here, here. And again, if I'm going too fast for you, make sure you go back and watch that video about identifying terms. Okay, so how do I find the lead term? Well, there are 3 terms in this expression. And the lead term is the one in the front. So my lead term is this negative 3x. So my lead term is negative 3x. Okay. So now let's take a look at this one. All right, I'm going to start here. Go to my minus sign. That's my first term. Do my second term. Do my third term. Which one's the lead term? It's this 2r squared. Squared is another word for the second power. So if you hear the word squared, it means exponent 2, okay? So 2r squared. Squared means second power. Okay, so right here, what's here? What is here? In front of this 2, well, I look at this 2 and I automatically know that it's a positive. How do I know it's a positive? Because it doesn't have a negative. All right, so here, what is this thing called? It is called an implied positive sign. Okay, now you don't have to draw the implied positive sign on every single problem forever. That's not what I want. I just want you to know that it's there, because in many problems the implied positive sign becomes very important, and you're about to see those problems in our next video. Alright guys, I hope you learned something in this video, how to identify the lead term. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon, and of course to visit the website where math is for everyone, www.grossimath.com.